everyone, it's Esabelle and welcome back to my channel in 2024. Speaking of new starts, have you ever set a goal for yourself and you have all this motivation and you're really gonna do it, you're going to make this the best year ever, but then...
Are you ready to get sticky?
I think we've all been there at some point in our lives. This video on how to build better habits is actually a part 1 and part 2 because it was getting insanely long, guys. Very valuable information, starting with the idea that you should set goals whenever your energy and motivation are high. There are so many studies in cognitive psychology about how willpower, which was once thought to be pretty much this limitless mental resource, it's not. There are so many studies that have found that there is a limit to our willpower, and we make better decisions, and we also think more clearly whenever our willpower and our energy are high. And I know I've been here. It's so easy to think,
oh, I just wish that I could increase my willpower. If I just could increase that, then I would be doing so much better.
Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do about your willpower. So whenever you do have the willpower, whenever your energy and motivation are high, just take advantage of it while you have it instead of cursing the system. Now, I did make a YouTube short about when your motivation and your willpower are the highest, and link that video up here as well as in the pinned comment. 2, make your goals reasonable. Again, very basic, but you would be surprised how many, myself included, actually get this wrong. And it's not wrong to want to stretch your comfort zone. It's not wrong to try to expand yourself. But if you try to push yourself too hard, then you're not going to get anywhere, and then you're going to feel more discouraged, and it could become a vicious cycle.
Then we are at an impasse.
Another thing is, please make sure that your goals are reasonable for you. Do you ever go online and see all these fitness gurus?
As you see, I've got biceps to spare.
These money management and investors out there making millions, or at least claim to make millions, and these people who have all this time with their family and life just looks so peachy and so perfect, and you're like, yeah, I could do that. Believe me, you could do it, but it has to be within the confines of your own life. Your life is not identical to theirs. You don't live in the exact same place. You don't have the exact same type of strengths and weaknesses. You don't have the same husband or wife. You don't have the same job. Fit your lifestyle, your current limitations, your strengths, your weaknesses. You may draw inspiration from social media, but do not compare. If you feel empowered coming off social media thinking, yes, I can do this too, great. If you leave feeling more discouraged, please get off social media and just set the goals that work for you. When you set these goals that are tailored for you, be very specific about when and where you are going to accomplish these goals. If you want to run a mile every day, make sure that you know where you're running and when you are running. Whenever it comes to where and when, it's actually more powerful to not just go off the time on a clock, but to set up an actual visual cue of something in your day that can trigger you into that action. Here's what I mean. I believe that I have talked before on my channel about if, when, then statements. Now, if, when, then statements basically goes something like this. When I finish my lunch on my lunch break, then I am going to do 10 jumping jacks. Finishing your lunch is a definitive activity that you know is going to happen during your normal day. So whenever you see yourself finishing up lunch, it is a mental trigger that is a bit more concrete and you can see it happening. Having something that is tangible and visible and pretty standard for every day is excellent for cueing the next action that you want to make a habit. Focus on the system or the trajectory, whichever you want to call it. What this means is loving the process, being in the now, which I am horrible at, but I promise I'm getting better. That's one of my goals. If you can fall in love with the process that you set for meeting a goal, then it's never going to feel like work. You're going to be much more successful. For example, the form of exercise you choose, if getting more exercise is one of your goals, make sure that it's an exercise that you enjoy and not one that you hate, that you just feel you should do. If it's only about the goals and you don't see results, immediately, and with most goals you won't see results for a while, then anytime you don't see those results right away, you're going to get discouraged and you're going to stop. And then you're really not going to see results. Learn to love the process and the results will follow automatically. Speaking of choosing what it is that you enjoy, try pairing good habits with your desires. A little psychology tidbit that you may not know: people who have damage to the emotional parts of their brain, depending on which area exactly is damaged, some people cannot make simple decisions. Even something as simple as choosing a type of cereal that they want to eat in the morning. Emotions are fundamental for even basic decisions that don't seem like emotions would be involved. So some of you might be like, oh,
My emotions are such an obstacle to what I want to achieve.
the fact that you can achieve anything is in part due to your emotions. The way that I've thought about it for a few years, ever since learning about this concept, logic and facts and core beliefs, which I guess are still somewhat emotional, but they're somewhat logical too, these things are equivalent to a skeletal system. They keep the body upright, they give it form, they give it structure. But the emotions, the values, the things that you care about, really give you passion, those are the muscles on that skeletal system. You need things that are just logic, cold hard facts to create the structure, and then you have the emotions to drive that structure to move. You have to learn to harness your emotions, and that is exactly what this tip does. Pair something that you love doing with an action that serves one of your goals. For example, you might exercise while watching TV. You might also do the reverse to yourself, where if there is an action that is undesirable because it does not serve your goals, then pair that action with something undesirable. Inconvenience is a great driving factor for this. You, or if you don't have the willpower to do this yourself, get someone in your household, put the cookie jar that you cannot seem to keep your hand out of, and have them either hide it someplace in the house or put it in a really inconvenient place, like in a cabinet way on the top, way in the back, behind a whole bunch of pans that have dust all over them. Only whenever you really, really, really want a cookie will you bother to dig them out. It's no longer on the counter waiting for your hand to come at them.
Cookie!
It might make you cranky in the moment, but it'll make you happy in the long run whenever you start to see progress on your goals. Change how you think about tasks. Instead of saying, oh, I have to get up, I should go feed the dog, I should go feed the cat, I have to go make breakfast for my family, say, I get to get out of bed in the morning. I get to go feed my dog and feed my cat. I get to make breakfast for my family. It's about gratitude for what you have. No one's life is perfect. None of us have that pleasure. Just changing how you talk about these tasks and the way that your thoughts go through your head really changes the meaning. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's simply about gratitude. When possible, combine two goals into one action. This is going to be a major efficiency hack for my fellow efficiency nerds out there. Here's an example. Say you want a cleaner yard and you also want to get more exercise. Go rake. That will give you, with just that one action, two goals met. This is efficient with time and with willpower because you don't have to have willpower to do two separate things. You're just doing one. And it might actually be efficient with money too, because if you normally hire someone to come rake, then there you go. This one definitely requires a good hard look at your personal schedule and your personal lifestyle and employ some creativity to come up with ways to combine them. But trust me, it is so worth the time figuring things out. Work smarter, not harder. Start off very slowly and very easily. I know that some of you are just biting at the bit to get out there and meet those goals, and I totally get that. But the most important thing is to set the habit and then expand upon that habit. What does this look like? Exercising only 1 minute a day. Reading only 1 page of that book a day. Save just 1 penny a day. You might overwhelm yourself if you try to do like half an hour cold turkey. But if you just get out there for 1 minute, it's very easy to stick with something like that. And eventually, if you get that habit of just 1 minute, you will naturally find it far easier to continue going longer over time.
That boy sure is a running fool.
But just showing up and just having that time and that cue and that habit built into your schedule is so important. You're going to be far less discouraged and therefore far more likely to actually get that habit underway in the long form that you want it. The next hack is something that you may or may not have heard about, and it's called choice architecture. Choice architecture basically means that you set up your environment in a way that is conducive to making the best decisions possible, such as keeping fruit at eye level, very convenient on the counter, and putting the cookies or the cake up in the cabinet where it's not visible. Whatever is visible, whatever is easy to reach, whatever is convenient, make sure that those things are the things that you want to be doing, that you want to be pursuing. Those are the things that you are going to do because, again, willpower is limited. Now, what are some choice architecture ideas? That is a whole nother topic, but luckily I did make a video about it already that I will link right here. Give you all sorts of ideas for choice architecture, how to employ it, and just get you brainstorming about what may or may not work for your lifestyle. Until then, guys, I will be back with the part 2 next post, and always remember to live nothing less than your best life. Hug!